Volunteering at the Alfred is even
This
more rewarding.
is the best job in the hospital because I love working with volunteers. I have for many years, and every person I work with, they really want to be here.
It is absolutely wonderful. I honestly can say I love it. I love it. The tapestry of life of the people that you meet is just amazing. And, oh, look, it's just wonderful.
Volunteering at the Alfred is even more rewarding than I thought it was. I had an idea of what to expect when I came into the psych units here, but after a number of workshops, Friday after Friday, the rewards are just getting greater and greater, and I'm so thrilled that I elected to come along.
I find it interesting, very stimulating, and I just meet the most wonderful people. We have fascinating discussions about books and tend to solve the problems of the world sometimes.
Some days you might come to the hospital and as you're walking in the front door you're thinking to yourself, well, I really don't feel all that great, but by the time I leave I'm feeling so much better and spirits lifted, and it just gives me a much better day.
Step 2 is the chat, and I've put in /interview with the manager of volunteers, which is...
It's been going for 5 years, and it started with the concierge program, so that was people who meet and greet and take people around, and that got some huge accolades. Basically, the whole principle to volunteering is you're trying to bring the community in to the hospital. So in that case, then, the type of volunteers we want are as varied as the patients we get here. So, you know, ranging from 18 to 75, 85.
Well, I think that you need to like people for a start. That's most important. You also need to be patient. You need to be able to speak to people, and you also need to know when not to speak to people, because some people would prefer you to be silent.
As a volunteer here at the Alfred and the Medi Hotel, my role is very varied. I spend time with patients who perhaps have had some tests, and so I'm able to sit with them and to listen to their fears. Anything of concern I pass on to the medical staff. I make a cup of tea for those who've perhaps come out of a small day procedure. I run errands. I go down to the blood bank and get blood, and I do any emergency messages that need to be done. I really feel my role is to make life a little easier for the nurses and to do all those little things, and I'm very fortunate here on Medi Hotel because the nurses make me a part of the team.
You get lots of support from the staff at the transit desk.
Some of the volunteers, they wear a navy blue or a pumpkin coloured t-shirt, and that's to show that they're a volunteer. But every single volunteer has to have an ID badge, and on that ID badge is this lanyard that has got the word volunteer, and most volunteers are very proud to be wearing this. The staff appreciate the volunteers, but they're very, very, very busy people. So basically it takes a while for the volunteers. You know, I try and place a volunteer into a team, and we love the team approach at the Alfred.
It's just, I think, a really great thing that we can offer patients here in psychiatry, a great outlet that people can kind of talk about anything, and Martin kind of put that in a poetic kind of way, and I think that having Martin here as a volunteer in the ward has been really, really important. But Martin not only tells poetry, he can also flip sausages on the barbecue as well, and helps out every Friday with our barbecue.
And I am such a nice volunteer manager because...
First of all, they come to an information session. After the information session, we have a one-to-one discussion, which is an interview situation. All volunteers have a police check, and then after that, they're invited to training. And the training is generally on topics like confidentiality, just to get to know the hospital, because it's like a big city in here, and we have tours of the hospital. It's good fun. My role as a volunteer manager is to match a person to where they feel they're right, what is an area that's right for them.
Me bestest dog was a half-bred red, heeler red, said I was a mistake, a sorry, a freak, an accident, and oops.
Martin Downey's been with us for about 6 months now, and Martin's one of our volunteers in the ward. And it's just been really fantastic because patients really like talking to Martin because he's not a doctor, he's not a nurse, but he's a member of the community, someone who a patient can talk to about anything.
Oops, sorry love, sorry me ornery old working dog got to your stud bitch love. Pup 1 of 8, mate, only one I kept, mate. Fit the picture perfect, he did.
We have poetry readings over in the psych unit, and that just came, that's a different way of approaching volunteering. That came from a volunteer, a person approaching me saying, I'd like to volunteer, I have an area of expertise, I'm a fantastic, I do poetry readings, I like to match where the volunteer's coming from with a position.
We also have Julie, a recent admission to the ward. She's a 30-year-old woman who has bipolar affective disorder. She's currently not communicating with others around the ward. She's writing in her journal, and we felt that her participation in the group would be of benefit to her.
Okay. I'm hopeful the Haiku Senior Anthology might bring her out a bit. They're short, sharp poems that are easy to create, and with a bit of luck she'll contribute.
We have a group of volunteers who go around, rove around the hospital, and they give free hand and foot massages to patients.
Hello, my name's Kathy. I'm a volunteer at the hospital, and I was wondering if you'd like to have a foot massage.
Oh, I'd love that. I've never ever had one before.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's quite relaxing. So you've never had your foot massage before?
No, this is the first time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Beautiful. Very nice.
Good.
I can really go to sleep while you're doing that.
That's the idea.
We have a transport program where we have drivers who take patients from their appointments at outpatients back home.
My day starts sometimes quite early in the morning. For instance, this morning I had to be in here to pick up the transit lounge car and get the patient back here by 9 o'clock. Then it was on to Vermont and back here. So it's a busy day and it does require some planning.
The key point to this is it's bringing the community into the hospital and making a patient feel they're not so isolated. I actually see it working that in years to come it will be a program on its own. It will be a department on its own, manned by paid staff and volunteers, and that we will have a squad of volunteers just roaming the hospital.